Hi everyone, James, G0SEC here. Thought I'd do a quick video on latest shack developments, shall I say. But let's have a quick look at what I've been doing lately. And I've been doing work on the junction box outside. It's basically a filter box where all my cables come in from the tower and they go to the junction box from underground, and then from the junction box they go into the shack. So this here was a plate that I had. There's a this is actually, believe it or not, this is two door plates. I think they're fingerprint plates, and I thought, how do I get some aluminium? It was a Sunday and I thought, definitely wanted to get on with it. I needed two aluminium plates to make one solid plate, so I basically done that, got some Gorilla metal glue, stuck it together, clamped it for a day and I was left with a plate which looked something like, oh, I don't know, I started to drill it and it looked something like this. So then I started putting these in. To show you another picture, this is the finished result, which I rubbed down. 6 cables I got outside and 1 rotor cable. So let me just show you another quick picture of it. Then I got it actually inside, if I can show you quickly. I got it inside the actual filter box. Here's another picture of it. There's another picture of it, and this is the same plate I used. I just sort of rounded off the edges, bolted it to, got a corner angle, bolted it to, basically this is solid steel at the back, stainless steel at the back, and this is aluminium. This is the fingerprint plate for the doors, and if you see carefully, there's 2 stuck together, and then just clamped together like I showed you a minute ago. And I drilled holes through them, pilot holes, measured them out precisely, ready for the SA239 connectors. After that stage, let me show you another picture quickly. You can see that there where it's at the sort of different angle. Let me just show you another one quickly if I can show you. I think it's that one there. Yeah, I got it actually. This is the old plate. You see it's a lot smaller. And I used some glands to actually get drilled some holes through at the right places, measured them all out. I put some glands in. I thought I wanted to have the cable so it's completely sealed, no moisture can get in. This is a sealed casing. The lid has got, like, as you'll see in some of my other videos that I'm going to be doing, the case is like a sort of electrical box, and it's great because you can actually screw it up, but also if you on one side you can hinge it if you want to by leaving the screws in there. So you can either have a hinged door or just take the cover off, but it's all completely sealed when you put that. It's got like a rubber seal already around it when you screw it down, and everything is PVC and plastic, so it can't ever rust like the old one did. Here's another picture of it with it actually in the box. This was just to get an idea of what it would actually be like, but this is my old plate from the old smaller box I had. And I got a picture here somewhere, if I can show it to you, of the new plate. Hang on, let me just show you. Sorry about that. If I come out of here, if I go down a little bit, you'll see this is where it started. If I go into this picture here, this was the actual, what it looked like. You can see this is ready for a door plate. And I thought I'd just show you this, just so you can get some ideas if you ever think about doing something yourself. This was the door plate. I had 2 of these. They were actually quite thin, only about 2mm thick. So I wanted to get about sort of 4mm, 3 to 4mm thick, so it wouldn't bend or anything. So, and I just basically cut here along this line, cut here, and drilled holes in it. Basically, glued it together, as you can see before I clamped it. And this is it in the clamp. And let me just come out of it again. I'll show you. If I scroll down a little bit, you can see the new one. Forget that, that's something else. Yeah, here you can see some more pictures of looking at different angles. And I'll show you another picture here of it actually in the actual box. This here is a filter. This is a current balun, and this is the new plate actually on an angle bracket. And each cable goes to the corresponding cable that will come through the gland. These are called glands, and you can screw these up so they're airtight, or sorry, watertight. This one would be for the rotor cable, and in a minute I show you a video with it outside. I've done a quick video shooting it outside on a very sort of dismal day. It was almost looking like rain, but I had to solder these outside, unfortunately, because they have to go through the glands, and then you have to solder the 259 plugs on outside. So it's taking a bit of a risk, but I got a good soldering iron, and I thought if I got a good day without any wind, I could do it, and that's what happened. So let me show you a few more. If we scroll down, this is just messages I'm sending to girlfriend of mine. Let me just show you quickly. Here's a picture of my brother. This is my brother. Looks very much like me, just a younger version. That's G0SEC or M0UUK. And let's scroll down a bit more, and you'll see. Oh, here's a video that I done. Okay, here's the video. Here's some pictures of it actually on the wall. And coming up in a minute, I've done a quick video, so I'll sort of swap it over, and you'll see the video that I've done outside on the wall. It's not actually completed yet because I've not been very well. Here on the left hand side you can see the rotor cable. This all comes up from underground. Basically the tower base is in the middle of the garden, and then it goes, there's a pipe that goes from the tower base, which is a 4-inch pipe. It goes all the way underneath the garden path, all the way under, comes up just up under the ground, and these obviously go straight down to that pipe. All these cables, including the rotor cable, and there's 6 antennas that you got here. The end one on to the left is the rotor cable, which controls the rotor on top of the tower. The one on the left hand side, on the coaxial side, this is my doublet antenna, and I used to get a problem with knocking out the weather station only on the wire antenna. I didn't get it on the beam. The beam is the red one, with the HF beam is the red one. And only on the long wire did I get a problem with the weather station. I'm not sure why, it just kept knocking it out. So I put a current button in place, and now no problem with the amplifier. I can use the weather station. I've got a clock on my wall. For those of you that have seen my weather station before, I've got a clock on the wall, and for some reason it just knocked it right out. But now I don't get any problems even with the amplifier on, and it's due to this current button here. This one, the red one, is the HF beam. The white one is actually 17 meter wire antenna, because I love 17 meters, and I switch between the beam and 17 meters, so it's quite nice. My favourite bands are 40, 15, 17 and 10 meters. Those are my favourite bands. And these 3 on the other side, which I haven't colour coded yet, one's for VHF, UHF, and one's for VHF and UHF, which is the co-linear on the top of the tower, which is on the very right hand side. So I've got to get some more tape. I'm going to have black, red, white, blue, red, white and blue for UK, I guess, and then green and yellow being the co-linear, So, and the next job is to get the cables obviously from the top of this plate going into the wall, which is like an outhouse, like a shed outhouse, and then eventually it goes into the shack. It actually goes into that and over the beams in the actual shed, and then through into the shack. So let me just show you another picture of it. Here's another picture of it looking side on, straight at it. So done a bit of work on this. It's taken a bit of a while to do. Now this cable here is I'm using EcoFlex 10. So it's very, very good quality cable, but it's still quite hard to bend it like this. So what I've done to bend it like this is I put it in a bag. I taped the bag up so it was watertight. I boiled it. I know it sounds crazy. I boiled the bag, and then I put it in the freezer, and it stayed in this shape, and it didn't move from this shape. And I thought, that's a good way of doing it. And I learnt this trick by something else, that they were bending copper without breaking it or breaking the braid or anything. So I don't know if it's useful to anyone else, but that's what I done. I boiled it for quite a while, obviously without the plugs on it at first, and just taped it all up so it was completely watertight, put it in a bag, taped it completely, boiled it for a while, and then put it in the freezer, and basically it retained its shape. I didn't know if it would work or not, but it worked superbly, and that's how I was able to bend it like this without it causing a problem or breaking any brackets or so. Because this current balloon is only held in with plastic sort of straps, like a normal like 2-inch pipe strap you'd have on a down pipe. So that's how I done the box. This is what it looks like outside with the cover on. Got these nice sort of I think they're some kind of Teflon. They're much harder than plastic. I think they're some kind of Teflon plastic sort of screws, but if you open up the screws you can either hinge it to the left or right, which is quite good. So it'll also hinge as well on the screws, which is quite good. And there's a picture of that done here. You can see that the lid's on here on the left hand side, and sometimes I'll just take it all off. You can see here it looks like it's just a gap, but that's actually a rubber seal, and the seal's quite substantial in there. And as it sort of, you tighten it up, you can feel that sort of really gripping, so it's going to be watertight. In saying that, I'm still going to heat shrink these eventually, put some heat shrink over them just so that they're completely sealed in there. Not sure how I'm going to do that just yet, but I've got some elasticated heat shrink, fill it over there, just heat them up a little bit just so it's a nice seal on each one of them. And that's the job done for the actual junction box outside. Now, just before they go into the wall, there's going to be some other filters as well. They're just basically ferrite beads basically that fit over the cable, and on the inside there's DX engineering filters on the other side, on the inside of the wall. Each one of the cables has a DX engineering filter, and then it goes up to the beams at the top, then it goes into the shack. Anyway, I've done a quick video for you which I'm going to show you coming right up, and I think this will do for now for a quick update. It's taken me about 2 weeks to do this, but only because I'm not been that well, and some days it's just not been the right day. And as you'll see from my video coming up, that you'll see in a minute, it was a bit risky. That day was the day I done this. It was looking like rain, and the first time I went out there, I could feel little spots of rain. I thought, I'm not going to get this done today, but I managed to get it done in a day, and so at least I got all the first lot done, all the cables coming up underground fitted to the junction box. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Hope you enjoyed the video coming up. Bye for now. G0SEC off and clear, 7-3s for now.
Hi guys, perfect day today for doing the, didn't look too good though on the old weather. If I show you that, look how cloudy it is up there. So it really is cloudy up there, but luckily I've had a few sort of spots of rain, but luckily I've managed to do all the cabling up to here. All come up, all sealed, go up into here. I just need to get blue, green and possibly yellow here, so I know which cable's what. It'll be black, red, yellow, black, red, white, blue, green, yellow, I think. And then the blue, yellow and green would be VHF, and the black, red and white would be HF. And this one, being the long wire, goes through the filter. It will go around sort of there and then into there, and then the others would just go straight over into the corresponding holes in the wall. So the sort of cover will be filtered with the lines going up from the cables into the box there. So I finally got it done. Just got to do these bits now, but that's not as hard because I can solder inside to do them and pop them through that way into the shack. So right, let's get the lid on. Nightmare job. Here's the tower today to show you. Not used for a while. That's the only C3S beam like that in the UK. Unbelievable. Totally restored. Square boom. This boom from here to here is 18 foot. Don't look it, does it, when it's up there? And then you can see me stand off. If I show you here, you can see me stand off bracket. I don't know if you've ever seen this car. It's a stand off bracket for the long wires. But boy, absolutely shattered. Absolutely shattered. And got another mark in the corner there. I didn't see it. That's just to take one of the long wires. So it goes from the tower to the house. I don't know if you can see that. There's sort of two wires that go to the house, down at the moment. But when the tower's up, it's really nice 45-degree angle, and they work really well. Anyway, I'm done. I've posted a few pictures as well. Shattered.